Hello, welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan. I'm here with Basil and Mabsy to preview Everton versus Palace. How are we, guys?
Yeah, good.
Good, thank you.
Made up what stadium game finally getting done this week, getting final approval. So
You've not stopped smiling, have you, since you've
No.
heard the news?
It's all good. It just came out of the blue, didn't it? Really, wasn't expecting it to be just randomly announced like it was.
You surely had some, and you surely anticipating it, weren't you?
I mean, it was always going to happen, but I just think it was more out the blue than what I think everyone expected, because it was just. I think I was walking in the field and witness, and you just said the stadium's being approved. And I was like, what? And it's just, yeah. So it was just weird the way it came out, but I made up. Obviously, I'm not going to complain.
well, what we'll do is we'll touch on that at the end of the video, if that's okay, and just divulge a little bit more into the reaction for that. So Palace, they have been a bit of a sticky team to play at home in previous games, but they've not had a great season, have they? Really, let's be honest. Struggling 12th place. Roy's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Usually they hover around mid-table, and this year it's basically been the same. And as far as I'm aware, there's a lot of questions about whether Roy's gonna stay on. I think his contract's up at the end of the year, and he still hasn't decided. So seems a bit unsettled on the Palace front, and they just pick up a few results, don't they, here and there, and they always get enough to just keep themselves floating in mid-table.
No real consistency, though. Just looking back at some of their recent games, lost to Burnley 3-0, beat Brighton, drew with Fulham, drew with United, lost to Spurs, and beat West Brom. So they're up and down, aren't they? They're the epitome of a mid-table team. The type of game that we kind of struggle against, especially at Goodison Park this season.
Yeah, that I was just about to say that. It's exactly the sort of run that would sort of team that would turn up at Goodison and turn us over this season. So, this is a real banana skin for us. If you look at Palace, what they do have is a couple of tricky, creative, fast players in Zaha and Eze, and they can hit you on the counter attack. They don't have a lot of possession of the ball when they play. They just wait for the moment. They're quite solid defensively in a 4-4-2. And you've got to be really concentrated at the back, because so many times teams have come to Goodison from the bottom half of the table and just hit us on the counter, and we haven't been concentrating.
Mabs, do you think they're a one-man team still with Zaha, or do you think Eze's brought a new dimension and some of the other players?
Yeah, they have, but the results haven't improved, have they? That's
no, not really.
You know what I mean? But you're right. It could be it's potential banana skin for us, because, as I say, we've not done well against the lower opposition in a way.
Especially at Goodison Park.
Yeah, well, obviously. But, yeah, so, I think can't go into this game too cocky. Can't, complacency. I think they need to be keeping it up. And, we've got the quality to do it. It's just what Everton turns up on the day. Doesn't it, really?
Yeah. Dave, rush through the team news if you can.
Well, as far as I'm aware, we've got a few injuries, haven't we? But we've got some players back. So we've got Pickford out, and we've got who've we got? Who've we got out? We've got obviously Decore's out long term, and then we've got the news that Gabamin could be back and James should be playing. So a couple of boosts, but also a couple of things, obviously on the negative side.
Interesting start. If he plays more than 15 minutes, he's played more than Delph this season, Gabamin.
Has he actually? Has Delph only played 50? Surely not. Surely not.
Delph's out of this fixture. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened there. Just to clarify the team news, you're all expected to do your own research before you come on here and know it inside out. Otherwise, we can't be doing previews. James returns. Alan obviously is still available in the team, and Gabamin is fully fit now, and he's ready to play apparently. And Delph is training with the squad. Obviously, it probably is going to come a bit too soon for him. I think this year is going to be too soon for him. But the news about Gabamin, Mavsy, really big boost. It's like a new signing, isn't it?
Plus, it's again the days an unknown quantity in the Premier League. Let's be honest. To us, I think we've only seen him once or twice ever. So yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, you know, he gets give the lad a chance. Like we've always been saying about what's his name? I completely forgot his name. The Josh King. It's like it was in Josh King. What's the point of having these players? We're not using them. The other day, we're injury hit. We may as well give them a go.
He thinks he's crap, to be honest. Otherwise, he'd be playing.
But why side?
I don't know. We needed the numbers, but in terms of he is fit. He is fit, and in terms of the injuries, the only players out. Ben Godfrey and Davis have a knock, but they should still play. Delph's going to be out, and Decore is going to be out. But apart from that, it's looking pretty strong.
I think Bernard's out as well.
That's a suspicious one, isn't it? They're very secretive, aren't they, Everton, about injuries at the moment?
It's probably a good thing, isn't it, that they don't give too much away for the opposition. But Palace will know we've got most of our players available for this fixture.
Yeah,
it's just the obvious holes in Decore, isn't it, and Pickford.
Would you give Gabam a chance?
Not to give Gabam,
but would you put him on for like the last 20 minutes or something?
Well, do you want to have a look at the teams?
Okay.
Me and David have put a couple of different ideas together. I'll go first. I'll do what I want to see, and I'll do what I think we're going to see. And this is the beauty on this channel. It's very off the cuff. So Mabsy hasn't seen these teams, and we're going to get his raw reaction to it. So treat it as if this is the team, and you've seen the team news like you do on Twitter every week. So this is my team.
Can't see that, could you?
It's so small on your phone. Do you want me to run through it? It's a 4-3-3. It's a 4-3-3. Okay, it's a 4-3-3. But it's like Richarlison's like left striker, and James is like got a free roll off the right. Okay, we're going back to how we played the first 7 games. So we've got Digne left back, Keenan Godfrey, Coleman, Alan sitting, Gomez left of the 3, and Gabamin straight in. Not as holding midfield, just box to box.
Put someone straight in.
He's ready to play?
Yeah, but he's ready to play and is ready to play. You know, he can't be playing. You can't start him straight off, surely.
This is the controversy we want. I want to see him play. I want to see if he's any good.
Yeah,
if he's fit.
Course, you can't just lash him on. And we all know that Ancelotti is not like that sort of manager that will do that.
I think he'll throw him in.
No, I don't think so. I just think he's none of them. He'll play him off the bench like he's done with Lotham.
No, realistically, I think Sigurdsson's going to play. Even the 3, it'll be them 3 because Davis had a little knock. I think this could be the team, but with Sigurdsson instead of Gabamin. I'll just run you through the team that I think the other option he could go with. This is a 5 at the back. This is slightly more depressing in terms of having an extra centre back, but I think the formation keeps everyone in their natural positions. Digne and Coleman, fullbacks, Godfrey, Keane and Mina, the back 3. Alan and Gomez in the midfield, injecting a bit of pace in there. And, of course, speedster James Rodriguez in front. It was a really quick... It's so slow. There's not only Godfrey in there and Calvert-Lewin really have got any natural pace. And then up front, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Richarlison did an interview, interestingly, the other day where he said he wants to play close to the goal, and we knew that, and I think that's why he was sulking out the left. So that's in this formation, it means he plays up front, but we're so thin out wide that we have to kind of revert to this 5 at the back. What would you say to that? Do you think this is an option ahead of the game for Palace?
I think that's probably the more realistic out of the 2. Is he going to play that probably not. He'll go for the favourite diamond, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at the first one that I come up with, James at the tip of the diamond, and obviously Sigurdsson in for Gabamid is probably going to be the team.
Yeah.
Let's think about this logistically. We are a bit stuck, but it'd be nice to go for a 4-3-3, I think, and give Gabamid a go. I mean, he can't be any worse than Tom Davis, I'm sure. I'm not going to switch me out and stick Dave in here.
So I've also put together a couple of teams. So let's start with this one, which is a 4-3-3. It's got obviously Dean and Coleman as the fullbacks. Got Keane and Mina at centre back. Got Allen and Ben Godfrey as a holding pair, and then I've got James just in front of them, and then Richarlison, DCL, and King as my forward three. And the reason I'm picking that is because, well, you're going to say Godfrey in there. Why is he in there? He's in there because Decore's out, and I think we've missed the energy in there. And I think Allen's a bit of a slug, and he needs someone who can cover the ground alongside him. So I just want to see what Godfrey's like in there. He's so adaptable wherever he plays. And I don't think we can drop Mina, but Keane's probably going to come back in. So, you know, it's just word you fit him in. And then Josh King, I'm giving him a run out as well. You know, now's the time against Palace. Let's go for them.
But realistically, do you reckon he is going to play? Because I don't think he is. What's happening in the back room? And respect to the question, why did he get him in the first place? I would say I am all for. I'm behind Ancelotti 110%, but I think you also need to give him a game because he's only been. You can't say how can you judge him in the last 5 minutes or the last 10 minutes of a game? You can't.
No, that's why I've put him in, because we've got to see him. And you know, if you put James behind those three, you'd expect to score, wouldn't you? Yeah. And the idea with the, you know, this is a solid back four with two holders. We should be able to keep quite solid, but also have four pretty attacking players on the pitch. So I want
it's a good team. The only thing with that is, I'm just going to come in on this. Godfrey hasn't played holding midfield, so he's not going to play. Yeah, it's a risk. It's an interesting perspective on it. I think Gomez is going to play, or Sigurdsson. I like the front four. I think you've got a bit of everything there. I just don't know whether you're going to get Richarlison at 100% playing on the left. He's stunk the place out when he's played there this season at the start. And then is King good enough? So I'd expect us to win 2-0, 3-0 with this team, to be honest with you. As long as the wingers track back and are disciplined, I think there's more than enough. Just bring Mr. Mabs back in.
Yeah, so I have put together a slight adaptation of this, which is what I think's more likely. Again, I've left Godfrey in there just for the same reasons. I just think he can cover the ground in that position. Allow Allen to just go and do the chasing with Davies if he's fit. And then you've got James and you've got Richarlison in his natural position up front.
But you're dropping Gomez after his best game in weeks and months.
Do you know what? When I did this team, I didn't even think about Gomez at all, which says how much I'm valuing him at this moment.
He's not. I think, you know. Yeah, I agree with David. To be honest with you, you know what? He's just had one good game and God knows how many. So, you know, I think he does need dropping for a while to see what happens.
I mean, we probably won't see this. And thinking about it, Allen, Godfrey, and Davies as a midfield three is a very defensive three, but also three that, you know, will actually put a shift in and work to. They want to win. They're winners, and they work for the team. So you're not going to get less than 100% from them.
What do we need to do to get a result then against Palace?
Well, state the obvious, score more goals. I'm really joking.
It's not when we have you on here as a pundit, Mabs. Do you want to? I'll pass the question over to Basil if you want.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave. Come on.
What we need to do is keep our concentration defensively, because we give away far too many free goals to the opposition when we play at home, which we don't tend to do away. We kind of go looking like we're 1-0 down from the start, trying to chase and control the game and leaving gaps. And it's something Ancelotti touched on in the press conference. He said they've been working on the balance of the team. So I'm hoping that we get the balance right tomorrow, Monday. And if we get the balance right, we should have enough in front with James back. You know, we haven't seen James for weeks, and the quality he can offer, we should be beating Palace. Should is the dodgy word, but yeah, I think we can beat them.
Well, I mean, as I say, let's hope this international break's been. I think it's got to be good for them. You know, if most of them have not been on international duty, so you know the condition I hope has improved. I hope they've had rest. You've got plenty of rest, and you know been working on the pitch the same in this week.
Yeah, very few players have gone away.
Aim at the right time. Usually, the international breaks, Everton's bloody luck that we're always on the up, and then bam comes international. But I think this time it's going to do us more good than harm.
What are you expecting from Palace then?
They've had 3 weeks off, so
they've had 3 weeks off because they haven't played in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
It was quite crazy, actually, how they managed to squeeze all those fixtures in earlier in the year, you know, where you're playing 6 games or something in the space of 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden there's a 3-week break. It's a bit of a farce, if you ask me. Their last game, they beat West Brom 1-0. I'm going to run through their lineup. Benteke and Zaha as a front two. Player I can't pronounce, so we've got Eze. Let's focus on the threats. Zaha and Benteke, Eze and Ayew. So that's like a quartet of players with, you know, a real attacking threat. And they've got Milivojevic in midfield. He's a good, solid player. There doesn't seem to be anything spectacular in their side that makes me worry apart from Zaha, but we've seemed to handle him well in previous games, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we just expect them to sit back and.
The probably, you know, don't you? This, as I say, this 3 weeks actually could do more harm than good.
Do you think the intensity is going to be stripped out of the game as a result of the lack of football?
They could be a little bit rusty in a way. They've not played any. I don't know what they've done. If they've played any behind closed doors friendlies, but I think potentially. I mean, how many internationals have they got? Or I don't know.
I imagine they've got quite a lot. You know, most clubs at this level have got a lot of international players.
Yeah.
So, you know, I haven't researched. I'm going to be honest. I haven't looked to see whether Zaha went away with the Ivory Coast, but
yeah,
I think there's a lot of.
I don't think they might because they might not have because of COVID. Because I haven't been close to being using the COVID rules that obviously don't want to be in quarantine when they get back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is that why? That's why everyone's not gone away.
For us, yeah, I think the European players for them went away, like Benteke and Eze went with the under-21s for England, Van Aanholt to Holland. So some of their players have definitely been away, but they will be short of obviously match action, and we are as well. I mean, we have rested, and it's pretty good that the players that did go on internationals for us didn't really play. I mean, Godfrey played 290 minutes. That's the most of our players to have played over the international break.
Is Alisson back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Did you play him then? I mean, I put him in my team, but Virginia didn't put a foot wrong, did he, against Man City?
He didn't, but he's a young lad, isn't he? You know, I think Alisson has been brought in to be the second, and I think it's only fair. I don't think I'm not going to blame. I've got its seniority at the end of the day, and I think Alisson's a decent goalkeeper.
Yeah, there's no harm done playing Alisson, is there? Because again, we need to decide whether we're going to try and buy him. So we need to see him in action a bit more before the end of the season.
That's if he wants to come. Now, the dream was saying that he doesn't because of the burglaries, unfortunately.
I wouldn't buy him.
You don't know.
I mean, it's a separate video, but I wouldn't buy him. I think there's better goalkeepers out. He's like a statue.
Yeah.
It's like you fix his feet in postcrete, you know, like a fence panel, and his feet are in the feet of the posts. You can't move them. You know, he's a bit wooden. For someone of his size, I think he's got a lot of potential. He's not a bad goalkeeper. He's a good quality keeper. I just think we can do better, especially if we want to push for Champions League.
Yeah. No, well, at the end of the day, we've gotten to the end of the season. Pickford's not there. I say you play Alson, you don't play. Unfortunately, you don't play Virginia.
I think he'll sign. Actually, I think he'll join for a couple of £1 million, and I think Bernard will go in the other way.
Well, only time will tell.
So, what have you got? Any plans for Easter?
Working all Easter, so that's about it.
But this is something to really look forward to on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, finish we're on a 6-4, so finish at 4 o'clock. Just get a bit of sleep afterwards.
You're lucky, man. You nearly missed it there.
What?
You could have so easily missed the game.
I know. And then I'll have a couple of hours kicked and get ready for the match. Well, it's 6 o'clock, isn't it?
6 p.m. on Monday.
These horrible Monday kickoffs and Friday kickoffs coming up. Just don't understand them.
Right.
Well, at least they can't ruin your weekend. They just ruin the rest of the week instead. We often, when we play on Monday, we get to see what all the other results were from the weekend and who's dropped points to give us the opportunity to also muck up when we can move up the league.
We'll look at to see who's dropped points, and we'll see if we can match it and also drop some points. Predictions then. Start with you, Mabs. 2-0, Everton.
Obviously, yeah.
Dave?
2-1.
You think Palace are going to score?
I think they might get the first goal.
They're going to score from a set piece, aren't they? Or
yeah,
something.
I think they will. I think they'll score. Yeah. I mean, they might not, but yeah, it just depends. We just don't know what team he's going to put out, do we? We have got quite a fit squad at the moment compared to some game weeks we've had. So, we just can't predict it really.
I'm a bit worn out. I don't really think. Yeah. My enthusiasm's not quite top level, I think, today. Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit worn out.
Well, maybe.
Is that what the bank holiday does to you? You know what it is? It's hard to get motivated a lot of the time to watch us.
I think we've been jaded by so much football in a short space of time as well.
But it has felt like a long time since we've felt
like constant football since July, August. Because the other day, you only had a 2-week gap and you're playing back to the next season.
But as fans, we've had nothing else to do, have we? But watch the football.
I just think there's so much football being played on, every game shown live. Yeah, I just think you get a bit jaded of it.
I think your enthusiasm will come back after this.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a bit tired.
I think there's just so much football on at the moment. It's unbelievable.
Maybe it's all those international matches.
Shite.
The internationals are enough to dampen anyone's enthusiasm, especially watching England.
No, it's just something about watching Everton at home and no fans and that whole thing and inconsistency and not knowing what you're going to get. Losing so many games at home this season. I think they'll get their act together now. James is back and it'll be a comfortable win, but nothing straightforward when you're watching Everton.
I'm guessing you'd rather play this one at Selhurst Park.
Shouldn't be like that though. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's move on and then briefly touch on the stadium. David, let's get your take on it. You obviously you're ecstatic, aren't you?
Yeah, it's good. It's gone through. I mean, as Mabsy said, he wasn't expecting it. And I think we all thought it might just take a couple more weeks for them to go through it. But obviously, the government probably, they knew it was pretty much, a good project, and they just needed to check some things out before they wanted to fully commit. And obviously prove to Heritage England that, it's worthy of going ahead at those costs. So, it was good news to receive and during the international when nothing else is going on as well.
Did you see that after they've accepted it? And we were a statutory body, we had to object and you had to risk a £1 billion plus project for a dock wall. I'm sorry, I'm all for heritage, but that was stupid. It was a stupid excuse to try and block the stadium. But there we go. Onwards and upwards. I think now they've got to put a statutory notice in the Echo, which I think is Thursday, if I'm right. Am I right?
What do you mean?
It needs, I think it's legal notice about, I think it dates back to the Mersey Docks and Harbour Act that they've got to put a notice in to get permission to drain it. So I think that's a week, and then they can just go ahead. I think it's only a statutory notice. No one can reject. You've got to kind of make people aware that they're doing it.
Okay. We're going to start cracking on.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that they're finishing off the finances, which obviously you can't finalise finances until you've got the planning permission. So that's not a worry. That's his business. I think trying to get the build schedule finalised with Langs, again, they need to know what they're playing, they need to know timescale. So, of course, they couldn't have done that before. So these are stuff that we're already going to be planned in. So beginning in June, maybe possibly May. I think that's a reality.
Yeah, quite possibly. It was interesting to read the other day that with all the money that we've invested so far into the whole planning application and hiring, all the designers for this, obviously we couldn't really claim any of this against, any of our accountancy books, whatever. I'm not an expert in this, but apparently the 100 million that we've spent so far, we can now claim against our books. And then we can now, financial fair play wise, we could probably buy some players now, which beforehand we were just putting money down a hole that could have just been shut off.
Doesn't make any sense though, because it's more loss. It's more loss.
I think it's because you can put it towards a new stadium, but I don't think technically you didn't have a new stadium until it's been approved. So now they can say, well, that 100 million was for the new stadium.
Oh, you're saying the 100 million loss is no longer.
We spent so far where we are. You couldn't put it in because they could have argued that that's suspended for spending's sake because there's no real end goal. But now because there's an end goal, you can then offset it now.
It's become a permitted spending, and it's not
proved where the money's going to is a good cause.
Yeah, how really that's great for us, but there we go. That's another topic.
Hopefully that frees up some transfer budget to go and sign some players.
Well, there's rumours going around that he's willing to spend big, and they say it's rumour, but hopefully they're right.
There's a lot of rumours going around, isn't there, at the moment about centre backs, different centre backs we're in for, which I find difficult to believe them, but
why not?
Mina's meant to be up for sale, isn't he? So see what they're going to try and get for him, but again, who knows? That's just paper talk.
Guys, thanks for joining.
Yeah, no problem.
Enjoy your Easter weekend, and I'll catch up on Monday evening if you're about. Hopefully, John will be available as well to give us his uplifting, negative view. Guys, thanks. Take care. What did you say?
I'll be negative. I'm going to win 2-0.
Okay. You watching Arsenal tomorrow?
Is he playing?
Liverpool.
What's a mate? What time?
Say again?
What time?
I haven't got a clue.
I think it's in the evening.
Come on, Arsenal.
Yeah. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.